This morning I'm going to start out a little bit differently. We will get to today's project, a 6x6 one sheet wonder. But before I thought, I'm just going to chat a little bit. I don't know about you all and your family and friends, but the last week I have been in a funk. Just in a funk. And I think I don't know that it's any one thing. I think it's a whole lot of things, probably mainly the pandemic and the isolation. I think family. I'm divorced and I'm still dealing with that loss. And I am working with somebody again to heal from that loss. But I think a lot of people are just going through so much. And this is not about me. This is not why I'm having the chat. I just thought I would just mention it this morning and talk a few minutes about it, just because I think if I'm feeling this way and if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, going through my days, working to be happy and productive and be meaningful and helpful and there for other people, but still feeling blue, I figure there are lots of other people probably feeling the same way. This pandemic is really catching up with everybody. School's about to start, which means a whole nother, time of stress for teachers and families and students and just people in general. And again, this is not about me. It's not about a pity party. I don't need anybody's pity. But what I want to say is just let's take care of each other. Let's just be kind. Let's just watch out for people. And let's just recognize the fact that it's a really difficult time for all of us. And if you need to say, I need to jump off the grid for a little bit and regroup and take care of myself, or ride your bike, or sit and read, or take a nap, or whatever it may be, please do that. If people feel like, if you know somebody in that situation, please reach out and make sure they're okay. And sometimes we think the people that we view as being strong and really together can also be struggling. And that's where I sometimes find myself. And that's how I feel this week in my head. I know I'm a strong person. I know I'm resilient. I'm a survivor. I'll get through this, but my heart aches. And I know of many other people feeling the same way. So let's just be good to ourselves and good to each other and try to stay positive. The world is full of negativity and ugliness. Facebook, just whatever you have to do to pull yourself away from the negativity and regroup, or to help somebody else do that, please do that. And I'm also going to put in a plug for mental health, because I am somebody who deals with that anxiety and depression on a lifelong basis, and it's very hard. I have family members and friends who deal with that, and there is no shame in that. It's terribly hard, but it's a hard thing for us to share. And if you are in need of help, please ask for some help. Even if you don't know what that help is, please talk to somebody, ask. Anybody can call me anytime, day or night. And, I still have a counselor that I reach out to when I need her. And she's been wonderful for me. So I just wanted to reach out to people and say that, because I know how I'm feeling and how all this pandemic stuff is affecting me, plus just normal life circumstances. Life isn't easy, but we try to focus on the good things. And I have to say, the last thing I wanted to do this morning was get up and be on a video. But then I thought, you know what? The reason I implemented Make It with Mary Monday is it's a very positive way for me to start my week. And most weeks I'm ready to start on Monday morning and just dive right into my work and everything I have planned for the week. But every once in a while, like today, there's a day I just don't feel like it. But then I remember, no, this makes me feel good. If I'm already feeling good, it makes me feel better. If I'm feeling blue, it makes me feel better. So here I am. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and watch out for people and stay positive. And if you need help in doing those things, please talk to somebody. Talk to me, talk to somebody else. Um, um, Susan, I so get that. And that's hard. And it's hard to be a mom and see children go through that too. So anyways, Karen, thank you. Or Carrie, I'm sorry. I'm tearing up in my glasses and whatever. Carrie, thank you. But let's start with something positive right now. I haven't shared my Happy Mail in a while. And I got 3 pieces of Happy Mail this weekend. So I thought, oh, and then I remembered I have a little stack here that I, just try to share what I receive as Happy Mail now and then. So here's the first one, Hello Friend, with that new dandelion stamp set we have. And that is from another demonstrator, Leslie, and how nice of her. Oops, I just dropped something. How nice of her to send me that. She reached out to me through Messenger and needed some help with starting her own Facebook Lives. And I called her, we talked on the phone for a while, but wow, that was nice. I didn't expect anything. And that's not the reason I help people, but it sure is nice to know you're appreciated and that somebody would take the time to do that. This I received from my great nephew's mom, and she's a single mom, and I sent her a paper pumpkin kit, that sunshine one. It was Forrest's first birthday, so I sent a little book for him, and I thought, she's a single mom. She works really hard. She does a great job. Forrest is a very happy baby, but I thought she probably needs a little sunshine. And so she kind of went off the script and did her own design. And she wrote me a nice note inside. And she said her Stampin' needs a little work, but she loved doing it. So that was nice. My wonderful friend, Susie Brunk, who's also my upline, got me into all this, sent me this card congratulating me on earning another trip. And I have to say, even sometimes the envelopes get me. Can you see that? It says, Denny says hi too. So that's kind of neat. Denny's her husband. Got this a while back from Jenny Gilbert. I know things are backwards, but I didn't. Here, let me see if I can do this really quick. Flip this. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing the one I need to do. Okay, we're just going to let it go. So the thank you, and I don't know if you can see this. This is that die we had, that thank you die. I don't think it's current anymore. But Jenny did 2 layers. There's a Highland Heather layer and then a basic gray layer behind it. So it gives that shadow effect, which is cool. This one, this struck me from my friend Lisetta. I received this after I sent her the annual catalog, and it just surprised me that she would send me a thank you note for sending her an annual catalog. And she said, well, I know I don't order very much and not one of your biggest customers. And you know what? Every customer of mine matters. Every viewer of mine matters. I appreciate you all. So it doesn't matter if, she was ordering a lot or a little or whatever. She's one of my purchasing customers. So, but I thought I was really touched by that. This one came from another demonstrator friend, Dawn Burchett. Who's this from? Oh, Marilyn Skorker. I don't know if she's on today. She sent me that card with the mask just because. I might have shown this one. The next couple I think I might have shown, but just in case not. This is from my friend and team member, Mary and Henrik. Now this I'm pretty sure I received. And this was a from a demonstrator a while ago that it was a nice pick-me-up. But look at this fun card. It's just, you know, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 single piece of cardstock, not a folding card base, but it's got this little mini card on here. So that was fun. And look at the way this envelope was addressed. Marvelous, Mary Knabe. Okay, I felt better already just looking at the envelope. I didn't care what was inside, but I was pleasantly surprised. But the envelope did it for me. You know, like when what was the movie? You Had Me at Hello. I was like, oh, you had me at Marvelous, Mary Knabe. Oh, here's a thank you from my friend Ramona. And then this was a card I also received from Susie Brunk. And you know, we all love that Poppy Parade paper, and I'm so good. I wish the paper had carried over, but I know DSP doesn't usually carry over, but I am glad the stamp set and bundle carried over. So who's ready for today's project? Do you have your materials with you? A piece of 6x6 designer series paper, 3 card bases, and then stamp set whatever you want to coordinate. So let me flip my camera around and we'll get started on today's project. Stay with me, and this will take just a few seconds for me to flip things around. Oh, by the way, I should tell you too, I had a fun open craft day. It's the only in-person event I've been hosting, and this was just, I started it last month because I canceled several months worth. So I had my first one last month, and then the second one was this past Saturday. People come, they pay a fee, they come, they bring their own craft projects. I make them a very nice lunch. I give them a 6-foot table and a comfy chair to work with. And I just had a nice group of 3 ladies. Donna Bennett has been here before. She brought her friend Nancy Jones, and it was nice to get to know her better. She had a great time. And Lynn Scott, who is also on my team now, and she lives on the other side of Columbus from me, about half hour away. And I've only met her a couple times and talked to her briefly. So it sure was nice to have her and get to know her better. And Donna's daughter, Lauren, came later in the day, and we had dinner outside on the patio and just had a nice girls' evening out there and just good fun. So at least I can do that. I'd like to get on to bigger classes and in-person things again, but you know, we all have to do our part to be safe ourselves and keep everybody safe and healthy. So, okay. So here is my piece of 6x6 designer series paper. I took it from the Playful Pets designer series paper, which is actually 12 by 12 sheets. So if you want to do a 6x6 one sheet wonder, you just cut it down to that size. I have 3 card bases in coordinating colors. I brought in the Playful Pets ribbon trim combo. And then I pulled this ribbon from my new holiday catalog pre-order. It's this nice real red sheer ribbon. And I thought, well, I might play around with that. So this today is definitely a creating on the fly. The main focus, though, is being that 6x6 one sheet wonder. I also brought in this piece of designer series paper, and I might do some punching and cutting and things with this to decorate my cards. Alrighty, let me move things around a little bit here. So the first thing you'll need to do is cut your designer series paper. So I hope you have your paper trimmer with you. Again, we're starting with 6x6. And I have to look at my cheat sheet here just a second. Yes, okay. Just wanted to double check my measurements here. So my first measurement is to cut at 4 1/4 inches. 4¼ inches. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece that's now 4¼ by 6 inches, and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees once, and I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. So now you have two pieces that measure 3 inches by 4¼ So we'll be using those. And then we have this one piece that measures 1 3/4 inches by 6. And I am going to cut off, let me think about this a second. I guess I could cut, we can do it two ways. I want to see what my original was. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. So I'm going to cut this, whoops, at 5½ inches. And the only part of this DSP that I'm not using is this little bit. But who knows, you might hang on to it and want to do something with that. Okay? And remember too, the wonderful thing about Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper is that almost all of it, you know what, 98% of it, has something printed on the back, a different pattern on the back. So you might consider that as well, that you'll want to do some of that in your creating. Just gives you more options. What's my note here? Okay, so now what are we going to do with these? So take one of your card bases. Again, I'm using Real Red, Basic Black, and Whisper White for mine. They can be all the same color, or you can do different ones. I'm trying to scroll here a little bit, make sure I don't miss any questions. Hi, Robin and Susan and Danielle. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to do just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to have something be my focal point right up here. Last weekend, I had my 3 littles here for the weekend. We did some crafting. They had a good time, made some really clever things. I forgot to post the pictures. I'll have to do that this week. My niece, who's actually, let's see, she'll be starting her 3rd year in college. She's a nursing student at Ohio State. She is nannying in her neighborhood for the summer. So she asked me if tomorrow, if she could bring the kids over for a craft day. Got a couple things in mind, but I haven't decided for sure what I'm going to make. So, okay. Now this, when you do this, you know, you can add things to it too. Like, for example, if you want to add something a little bit right here, you can, let me show you what I mean. I'll use this cutter because I want 4½ inches long. So my card base is 4½ inches, no, 4¼ inches wide. And then I'm just going to cut like a little 1/2 inch strip. And I'm going to add this. Oops, sorry for the banging. That seemed kind of loud, didn't it? I'm just going to add this there and see what a difference that makes to my card. There's nothing wrong with it the way it is, and I can put a focal point here. But adding that black there, it makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to do that. Whoops. What do you think? With black, without? Do you have a preference? I know what my preference is because I'm doing it. I like it this way. Just add a little more, I don't know, oomph to it. And now I'm going to cut out one of these doggies. And there's just something about this guy that I love. He kind of reminds me of the dog in Lady and the Tramp, which Emily had said the same thing to me. Actually, I'm going to cut it with a 2-inch circle, which means I'm going to cut off the bottom of them, but that's okay. And then I'm going to cut a 2 1/4 inch circle from my black cardstock. You can get it out here. I've got it right behind me. I agree, Susie. The contrast makes the difference. Here's a scrap. Use up your scraps, right? So now I'm just going to adhere. Ooh, that's a fun pattern behind there, isn't it? That real red pinstripe. And I'm going to put this here as my focal point. I want to pop this up on dimensionals. Got some of these outside edges from my mini dimensionals. I'm going to use that, tear those couple pieces of that off. And I could put this anywhere. I could put it here with a greeting here. I could put it up here, here. I'm going to start by putting this one over here, just to the left a little bit. And I'm going to go a little bit higher than center, just because. Do it any way you like. Another little thing is, do you remember the dog builder punch? I love that little heart. Love that little heart. So I'm going to take a scrap from my real red and punch out one of these mini hearts. My upline and friend, dear friend, Susie Brunk is watching. Susie, I need to call you afterwards. I wanted to talk to you. I had an idea about for our visit in August. And Joyce Whitman will be here, and I wanted to share something with you. So I just put that little heart on there. That's kind of cute. I think I need to move it over a little bit, though. There we go. I like it like that a little bit better. And then maybe I can put a sentiment here, okay? So here's one card. And keep in mind, I don't own the, not to say I won't order it, but I do not yet order have not yet ordered the Pampered Pets bundle. And it does have dies to cut out some of these cute dogs and cats. And it's got some fun sentiments in there. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. Of course, you'll want to put a Whisper white layer on the inside, because that'll be easier for people to read your writing if you're doing it on white instead of the real red. And if you want to dress up that inside a little bit, you could punch another little pup. How about this guy? I saw a woman in my neighborhood. Actually, it was my sister's neighborhood. Emily and I went over there for dinner yesterday. Walking a little Dotson, a little wiener dog. And I thought, gosh, it's been a really long time since I've seen anybody with that kind of dog. So I'm going to put it right there, just like that, to decorate the inside a little bit. Okay, so there's card number 1. Let's see if I can tuck it under here. Okay, let's move on. Card number 2. And for this one, you know, I could move it up. I don't know what color. Maybe I want the black this time. You could put it at the top this time. You could put it right in the center. You can turn it this direction. And I think that's what I'm going to do here, is turn it this direction. I could have done it the very same layout as the first one also, but just on black and maybe put a red strip in the middle. But you know me, I like to change it up and give you lots of different ideas, as many different ideas as I can. Susie, I agree. Isn't he like the happiest dog? Even if you're not a dog person, you can't help but smile when you see that dog. Hi, Sharon and Leah. Nice to have you here as well. I do think I want to put a red border behind this DSP. So again, I'll bring in my Stampin' trimmer, my paper trimmer, And this, remember, this measures 4¼ by 3 inches. So I'm going to go just a little bit larger, and I'm going to do 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. And that will give me that narrow border. Yes, I like that. And again, remember, the main focus of this Facebook Live this morning is that 6x6 one sheet wonder. And with these 3 pieces of designer series paper that we've cut, you'll have some new, fresh ideas. Now, one thing you could do is add another layer and perhaps do some embossing on there. That's always wonderful. I'm not going to do that though, for sake of time. And I'm going to put this right in the center. You could move it to either side if you wanted. You could do it on an angle, but I'm going to put mine right in the center. And I hope some of you will do some crafting today with this 6x6 one sheet wonder and post your creations, because I'd like to see what you come up with as well and what kinds of colors and papers you choose to use. All right, so should we do some more cutting? You know what I think I'm going to do on this one is, I don't know. I think I'm going to cut a strip of this and then, see what I mean? I have a contrasting strip. So I want to strip about, I'm going to say 3/4 inch long, or 3/4 inch wide, I should say. And then I'm going to cut it 5½ inches across. And you can see that still with these 3 basic pieces of DSP, you can keep adding to it. They can be very simple, basic, no layers. You're still going to come out with great cards, but you can add even more to it. And on this one, why not pull in a fun punch? Does anybody have the lovely label Pick-a-Punch? I love this. What I don't have, oh, wait a second, did I cut this correctly? Oh, it's 7/8 inches. That's not what I want. I was thinking that doesn't fit in my punch the way it's supposed to. I'm not sure how I did that. But let me cut this to 3/4 inch like I really want it, because then I want to use my lovely label Pick-a-Punch. Does anybody have that? It truly is like my new favorite punch. It's in the new annual catalog, our big one that came out in June. And now I haven't gotten the other one yet, but we have a new Pick-a-Punch in the holiday catalog as well. And I can't wait to get my hands on that. That'll be on my next order, I think. And when you put this in, you just want to be sure it goes all the way to the back and that you have the paper sitting between these grooves evenly. Okay? And then I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing. Flip it over and make sure it's all the way to the back, that the paper's in all the way, and make sure it's laying in those grooves nicely. I got a mess going here. And I'm just going to adhere this right to the center. Just like that. Awesome, Mary. You ever talk to yourself like that? Give yourself advice or encourage yourself, cheer yourself on. Way to go, Mary. I do, right? When you're sitting alone, sometimes you just have to. Joyce, I'm glad you're here. It doesn't matter if you're late to the party. You made it, party girl. Hi, Tammy. Nice to have you. And again, I'm going to do some punching. And this time I am going to, I don't know if, where'd it go? I don't know if this one's quite big enough. Oh, I love it when you guys come back. Thank you so much. Oh, Facebook Live, you're going to be the, well, I'm not going to say you're going to be the death of me. I'm going to overpower and come through, right? Let me move this up a little bit. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are back. You make me so happy when you come back when that happens. It's frustrating, you know, I'm prepared and things are moving along well, and then boom, Facebook wants to just quit on me or kick me out or whatever it's doing. Okay, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. We're just going to go on. Okay, so I cut out my little Rosie girl here. I'm going to, gee, should I do her on red or black? I think I'm going to go with the black, just because it has the same background. Ah, you know what? We can do both. We can do both red and black. Why not? Go crazy, Mary, right? Oh, I'm going to show you a trick with this too. Trick, tip, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get fancy with our layering here for my Rosie dog. I know, just because I'm talking about Rosie and missing Rosie, no, I am not getting another dog. People keep asking me. No. I think I'm enjoying just being able to get up and go. Maybe someday I'll change my mind, but I'm happy with my get up and go lifestyle right now and not having a dog to tie me down. Although I guess I'm not really get up and going much, am I, with the pandemic? As soon as I said that, I was like, where are you going, Mary? Target and Kroger, that's about it. I get to go to CVS today to pick up a prescription. Woohoo! Checking out CVS. Does anybody else feel like that? What's your go-to place when you have to get out of the house, but you know you really can't be going anywhere, or you're not comfortable going places? You know, I don't want to go to the mall or the, I don't know, restaurants and stuff. I'm just not comfortable with all that yet. Do you guys have a go-to place? Mine tends to be Target. Okay. I think what we need is just a little embellishment here. What do you guys think? I think it needs some real red rhinestones to dress up this little pup. By the time my littles left last weekend, and literally like everybody that lives around me has at least one dog. So by the time my littles left last weekend, they knew the dogs, all the dogs on my block. And, you know, they'd come out of their houses and the kids would be calling them by their names, wondering why they're not coming over. We're going to get real fancy with this gal. I'm going to do 3 on each side. I don't think I've ever placed them like this, 3 on each side. Ooh, that's kind of fancy. Okay, so here's my tip for you. I have this piece of paper cardstock that I just grabbed real quick, and I punched my hole from it, and there's a reason I punched it right in the center, because I'm actually going to use this on the inside of my card. And you're like, well, Mary, why do you want a hole on the inside of your card? Oh, I need to cut this down a little bit. It should be 5 1/4. So I'm cutting it at 5 1/4 by 4. Well, I'm not going to leave that hole there. I'm going to use this as my mat for my piece of Whisper White. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So I have that little bit of a red border against or behind the Whisper White cardstock, just like I have that little bit of red, real red border behind my DSP. And this will just make the inside of my card a little prettier rather than just the plain white. Isn't it fun how just adding a simple layer to your card front or your card base or the inside just takes it up a whole different notch, puts it on a whole different level. And it doesn't change the cost of your mailing either. Make sure it's straight, press it down. Awesome. What do you think of that one? Julie, yes, I do pre-cut mats and card bases to have on hand. I don't do a whole lot of colors. I always have card bases, always, in thick Whisper White and thick Very Vanilla. At times I will have card bases like in basic black. I used to do crumb cake as bases a lot, not quite so much anymore. I don't go crazy on cutting all kinds of color card bases. But like now with Christmas coming, I know I will be doing a lot of Christmas cards, so I might cut, you know, card bases from Red and Cherry Cobbler and Mossy Meadow and the things I know that I'll be using for the holiday season. I do also keep Whisper White and Very Vanilla and oftentimes black cut to that 5 1/4 by 4 inch. The Whisper White and the Very Vanilla because I use them on the inside of cards a lot as well as on card fronts. Basic black because I also do this sometimes. So that's a very good question. I don't do that in all the colors, Julie, but in Very Vanilla and Whisper White I always have a stash going. And you know, I use those so much that it's easy to take an entire pack of Whisper White thick cardstock and cut it all at once and then have that stack in my drawer. I've got a couple drawers right beside me on the left here where I keep those with the envelopes as well as those 5 1/4 by 4 inch pieces for the insides. And I do find it to be very convenient and very handy, and it makes my crafting time much more efficient because I have some of those things prepared and always, and because they're close at hand. I mean, literally I can just turn a little bit behind me and reach to my left and they're right there. So great question. Okay, Matt, let's make our last card from this fun 6x6 one sheet wonder. Okay, I don't think I like this on the white so well, but why not flip it over to the opposite side there? And I do like that black and white on the Whisper White card base. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to adhere this. Now I don't have any idea what I'm going to put on the front here. Well, okay, I did just get an idea in my head. Remember, this is a create on the fly day. So even though I had my 6x6 one sheet wonder prepared for you, I did not plan my cards out. But this gives you a good idea of how I create. You don't always have to have in your head what that end result, what your finished card needs to look like before you start creating. It's okay to create as you go along. Sometimes something comes to you, just like when I did the inside of this. When I punched that red circle, it popped into my head, oh, I can use that piece as a layer for the inside of my card. Okay, so where's my DSP? I'm going to take this, and this is already, let's see, I'm trying to cut this in a way that will be kind of not wasting too much paper. I'm going to cut a, let's see, 3" by 4 1/4" piece of this pinstripe DSP. And I chose those layers because they are proportional to the size of the card, the 3 by 4 1/4. If you go to that layering tool that we've made in the past, that is one of the layers. Let's see where it is here. 3 by 4 1/4. That is one of those layers, so I know it is the correct proportion to my card. And then I'm going to go just a little bit larger and do 3 1/8 by 4 3/8 for the red, because I want this to be the matte for this pretty DSP pinstripe. This pinstripe also reminds me of baseball. Is anybody else missing baseball this summer? Just watching the games on TV, cheering on your team. I'm missing it a lot. And it's not like I'm a huge fan that follows all the teams, but I enjoy going to the ball game and having a hot dog and the 7th inning stretch and cheering the home team on. Okay. And again, I'm using one piece of that One Sheet Wonder, and I could have made a sweet card, kept it real simple, but I decided I'm gonna go big and add another layer. And again, I will go in here and punch a cute puppy out. Oh, you know what? Let's do something different. We've been punching here. Let's use the black and punch a dog from our dog builder punch.